Okay, so what I wanted to share to you today is on how we will be able to use DevC++ or for us to be familiar with DevC++. Now, to start with, of course, we need to download the DevC++. Okay, so for the informations of everybody, that DevC++ is an open source and free to download. Okay, so I will share the screen. So of course, for the first time, if this will be the first time for us to download, so of course, Google, then type DevC++ for Windows 10 because the majority of us are now using Windows 10 PC. Now we have the sourceports.net here, and we have, of course, bloodshed, that's softonic.com. But actually, if you download it to the sourceports.net, it's still okay, or even with bloodshed. So, okay, for example, but actually at present, I have already downloaded. So, based on what we have here, you can download, no? And if you wanted to see the reviews, no, and how many downloaded for this week, so as you can see here, almost 100,000. Okay, then download. Then as you can see, your download will start shortly. And automatically download here. Actually, this will be the latest, no, DevC++, the 5.11.12. Okay? Okay, so as you can see here, still downloading. So actually right after the actually after that we'll be able to download this DevC++, it appears to our screen. Okay, now, but I have here already. Now, if you have a shortcut, no, in your desktop, you are allowed to use the DevC++ shortcut. But at this time, I don't have a shortcut here in my uh, desktop or laptop. So what I'm going to do is just simply to type DevC++. Then even I type DevC, it's automatically, no? Then you just click DevC++. Now, as what we have here, I have the DevC++ already, but I'll pick a new one. Okay, so for example, this will be the environment. This will be the DevC++ 5.11 environment. Now, so as what we have here, we have file, edit, search, view, of course, execute tools as style, window, and help. So under file, we have open, save as, news, save as project, and so on and so forth. You are also allowed to import and export the MS Visual C++ project, the HTML, the RTF, the text, and the project HTML. And if you recently open different files, even .c or C++, it is also available at the bottom. If you don't want to see this one, you just clear the history. Okay. For edit, of course, you are allowed to do this one: undo, redo, cut, copy, paste, and so on and so forth. For search, if you want to find something from your file, okay, find in files, replace, search, and so on. For view, we have the project-based status bar, toolbar. Include this, be sure that you check all these toolbars. Okay, then to-do list and others. Then project, if you want to create a new file, add to project, remote from project, and others. Then, of course, if we have a program already, if we have a code already of our C program, for us, before we are going to run the program, we need to compile, okay, for us to know if there is certain error. Or just simply press F9. So run F10, but we are also allowed to compile at the same time run. So, but of course, if there are errors, we need to fix the error first before the compiler or the DevC++ run your program. Now, we have rebuild all. If you have, for example, 10 open programs and you want to rebuild everything, no, that the 10, 20 programs, just click rebuild. And so on and so forth. Then, tools, we have compiler, environment, editor, configure, and others. A style for formatting options, then window, close all, full screen, if you want to full screen, or control plus F11. Next step, for example, if you are in a program 1, program 2, program 3, if you want to go to a previous program, of course, and so on. Then help. If you need help for DevC++, tip of the day about DevC++, or if you want to donate, since this DevC++ is a free software, okay, open source, for free. Now, for us to start, just click File, then New. Okay? Now, as you can see here, we have the entitled 2 and entitled 3 because earlier I created already an entitled 1, but I save it as demo1.c. Now, so of course, for us to start with DevC++ program or C language program, we need to use the preprocessor, the sharp include, with our library. Okay? So stdio.h. So sharp include is a preprocessor. Then stdio.h is a library. STD stands for standard, I for input, and O for output. So it means to say that this library allowing us to input and to output data, information, values, alphanumeric, and so on. Now, another requirements for C programming is the main. Okay? Opening close parenthesis. Then, the begin. Okay? Then, of course, within the opening closing bracket is the content of your program or the code itself. Now, but if you want to have a comment, no, so you just simply use the 2 backslash. Okay, for example, first program in C language. Okay? Then as you can see here, we are using also the printf command or the printf reserve word. The printf reserve word is from the stdio libraries. Okay? When we say printf, we want to display text informations in your program. So, of course, if we want to have a good program design, so printf, again, to display file, double quotation, of course. This will be the exact syntax, no, of that printf. But if we want to display text, for example, is welcome to Din Melo channel. Okay, for example. Then, as a syntax, we need to have a semicolon right after printf. The idea behind semicolon is for us to separate one statement to another. Then enter. So, if we want to run this program, of course, what we are going to do first is to save the program. File, of course, save as. So, as you can see here, I created already the folder. But if you don't have folder, you are required to go, for example, go to this PC, then locate the local disk C, then you are allowed to create folder here. For example, Din Melo channel. Okay? Then, of course, double-click the created folder. Then, save. In saving, of course, we are allowed to use the direct.c. So, for example, sample1.c. We have a different save as type. Actually, we are allowed to save this file or this program into this type, C++ source files. Okay? That is how DevC++ is flexible. Okay? But if we want to save to be more flexible enough, use all files. As you can see here, we could also to use, we are also allowed to use C source files. It is necessary for us to indicate, for example, the .c. Instead, choose C source files. But if we want to have a more flexible file or program, DevC, then all files. In some other PC or computer, instead of all types, all files, it's all types. Then click save. Now, so this will be our program. Okay. Now, so for us to know if our program is correct or if there is no error, compile. Yan. As you can see here, upon execution and compiling the program, it runs that welcome to Din Melo channel. Okay? But if we want to add more, for example, printf, if we want to add, for example, please watch, or we start, for example, with familiarization with DevC++. Then, of course, again, as I mentioned earlier, we need to indicate the semicolon. Then after that, printf, don't forget to watch, like, share, and subscribe. Okay, so for example, then semicolon. Okay, so again, if we have some changes, no, if we do some changes with our program, always file, then save. Then execute, compile. So as you can see here, we don't have error. 0.31 second. Execute, run. So as you can see here, welcome to Din Melo channel. Familiarization with DevC++. Don't forget to watch, like, share, and subscribe. Now, we need to consider that in doing or writing our program, it must be with art and style. Because programming is an art and style. Okay? We need to create a program in a user-friendly manner. Now, for us to have a space or to enter another, to write to another line, the next statement, so you are allowed to use \n. It means to say, to the next line. Yan, \n. Then file, save. Execute, compile and run is also allowed. So as you can see here, welcome to Din Melo channel, familiarization with DevC++. Don't forget to watch, like, share, and subscribe. So, welcome the first printf display in the first line. Then second line, the familiarization, and third line, word, don't forget. So, but, of course, we are also allowed to do this. Instead of putting this one, we are also allowed to use here, \n, and this one is \n. Okay? File, save, execute, compile, run. So, Zane, as you can see, based on our given output, the same. Okay? But we are also allowed to use, instead of using this \n within the printf command, we are also allowed to use this one. Printf \n semicolon. Then of course, we are allowed to copy paste actually. Then file save, execute, compile and run, the same. So it means to say that we are allowed to put our \n here, then here. Then we are also allowed to use our \n here or even here. Okay? \n stands for the next line. Okay? Now, how about if we want to have at least 2 space? Right after welcome to Din Melo channel. Indicate another \n. Okay? So file save, execute, compile and run. So welcome to Din Melo channel. We have a space again. Then familiarize with DevC++. Now, how about if we want to center the welcome to Din Melo channel? Just indicate \t, that is 5 spaces, \t, \t, \t. So 5, that's 25 spaces. Okay? So file save, execute, compile and run. So as you can see here, welcome to Din Melo channel, almost at the center. So if you want to add more, especially if you want to see this output in a full screen manner, so add on, file save, execute, compile, run. Then, yeah, for example, if you want to display it. So as you can see here, welcome to Din Melo channel is at the center. But if you want to have a space before the Din Melo, okay, so what you're going to do is just to add a \n here. Yun. So file save, execute and run, compile and run. So as you can see here, welcome to Din Melo. We have a space at the top before welcome to Din Melo channel. Okay? Now, how we'll be able to troubleshoot the error? Or that is what we call debugging actually when it comes to programming. But before I forgot, this place is what we call message window. Okay. Now, as I mentioned earlier, it is very important to us to look into our text. No? For example, sharp include stdio must be right or in code or type as or in a lowercase format. Because, for example, if we type, for example, uppercase I, since the reserved word is sharp include in a lowercase stdio in a lowercase .h, so if we were going to save, file save, then execute and compile run. So as you can see here, based on our message error, okay, invalid preprocessing directive sharp include. So the sharp include directive is incorrect because, as I mentioned, it must be declared in a lowercase format. Okay? So this is the preprocessor or the preprocessing directive sharp include. So for example, if we misspelled the stdio, instead of stdio, we type stdoi.h. So file save, execute, compile and run. So again, stdoi.h, no such file or directory. Compilation terminated. So what is easy for us to use DevC is the compiler itself lead us where is the exact error. So as you can see here, no? So you just of course correct the symbol, correct the code, okay? So stdio.h, then file save. So how about if you mistype this one in a uppercase also? File save, execute, compile and run. So as you can see here, undefined reference to win main. So it's too easy for us to look. But for example, if we want to click this one, yan, automatically. Yan. So it gives you a hint. So even this one, if you type incorrectly, missing with a close parenthesis, so execute, compile, run. So again, error. Broken. Okay? So again, of course, so for example, if we forgot to indicate the begin, no? File save, execute, compile, and run. So still error. So based on what we have here, expected declaration specifier before print if, print f. Okay, so as what we have here, we need to write this one. Okay, but this is partner. Okay? Now, even if we type the printf in a capital letter or caps lock, if we want to run, save, execute, compile and run, as you can see here, undefined reference to printf because printf must be typed or encoded as lowercase. It is also a syntax displaying a text or message. How about if we forgot to indicate the double quotation? So file save, execute, compile and run. So as you can see here, stray backslash in program. Oh, then highlighted. So it means to say that you forgot this double quotation before backslash n, as you can see here. We are guided. Okay, for example, if we forgot to indicate semicolon, file save, execute, compile and run, semicolon before printf, before this printf. So it means to say that the last. Again, why do we need to have a semicolon? To separate one statement to another. But of course, as what we have here, we just only have 3 lines of program. For us to minimize the use of our compiler or our to minimize the use of our memory, so instead of including printf, so you just replace this one as backslash n, this one into backslash n. That's it. The same. Actually, you are allowed to delete already here. This one. So therefore, we minimize the use of our computer memory because we listen the number of characters in our program. Okay? File save, execute, compile, and run. So as you can see here. Okay? But if you want, of course, to have a space again before the comment of this printf, so because as I mentioned earlier, we need to be more artistic in designing our program. So execute, compile and run. So as you can see here, a while ago, don't forget to watch, like, and share and subscribe is almost within this process exited after and so on and so forth. So we have already a space because we indicated 2 backslash n. Okay, but if we want also to have at least to tab this one, file save, execute, compile and run. So as you can see here, we have spaces. Familiarization with DevC++. Okay? But if you want to add additional, if you want to have a space also for this one, so file save, execute, compile and run. So as you can see here, we have a space here. Okay? And that's it for today. I hope that you are excited, no, for the upcoming lessons. Uh, Thank you and good luck, everyone. Enjoy your programming. God bless and thank you for watching.